Someone please go check on Nebraska. Do you guys know what's going on over there? And if you don't know what's going on, that's why you have me, so I can explain it to you. But básicamente, Nebraska is about to go bankrupt in 6 months. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to smile. It's just a little ironic because majority of Nebraska voted for you-know-who, el pendejo, right? Majority of Nebraska is like, does anybody care about us? Like, we're about to go bankrupt in 6 months. And the reason why they're about to go bankrupt is because the majority of the workforce in Nebraska is built off, who do you think? The back to Latinos, right? That are undocumented and they're scared to go to work and they're not giving any money to the farmers. So their agriculture is dead. They're like, who cares? Like, can somebody come and help us? No, mijo. I have no pity for you. Sorry.
CBS News has learned ICE agents detained some 1,600 illegal migrants on Tuesday. In Omaha, immigration enforcement agents targeted dozens of suspected undocumented workers at a large meatpacking facility. CBS's Ian Lee is there tonight with the latest on those arrests.
Is everybody here employees?
A sense of fear grips this tight-knit community.
Ladies, bring your paperwork with you. Show your hands.
After ICE raided this meatpacking plant in Omaha, Nebraska.
The looks on everybody's faces, it was just scared, crying.
Supervisor Stephanie Favila was in the morning meeting when agents entered Glen Valley Foods, arresting more than 70 migrants, including 3 of her family members.
How is this for you?
It's hard because they just call me asking info about my cousins, and I don't know anything. I don't know if they're going to get deported. I don't know if they're good. I just don't know anything.
The men and women detained are suspected of being in the U.S. illegally. ICE says it's Nebraska's largest worksite immigration roundup in President Trump's second term.
This does impact our community, and it does create fear.
John Ewing Jr. has been the mayor of Omaha since Monday. He says he doesn't support workplace raids.
We want to ensure that people are treated fairly and that they have due process in the course of these things.
The raids have sparked protests in Omaha. Supporters say those arrested were hardworking people, not criminals. Immigrant law firm Sierra is helping to find those taken. Eric Omar is the executive director.
When 100 people are ripped out of the community, it sows chaos, it stokes fear, businesses shut down, people stop going to work. Omaha, Nebraska is a meat processing town, which is a draw for migrants. People here fear this raid is just the tip of the iceberg and that there could be a whole lot more. John.
All right, step up. I've got another FAFO for a red state that voted for Donald Trump, and this one's a doozy. This employer, they are missing more than half of their work staff due to ICE raids. Production is down 70%, and they do not know how they are going to stay in business. This is the red state of Omaha, Nebraska. Yes, Nebraska voted for Donald Trump. This meat packing plant does not know how it is going to stay in business. The ICE raids go in and take anybody brown. In case you don't know, they take anybody brown. They have no warrants. They wear masks. They go in with force. People get absolutely no due process. They do not go see a judge. They go right to a detention center. And then they are shipped off to Alligator Alcatraz and then flown to El Salvador or some other place. Doesn't have to be from their own country. So this is an FAFO coming every single day. This one is Omaha, Nebraska. Will this meat packing plant stay in business? It's probably going to be touch and go.
Glen Valley Foods in Nebraska is likely going to be shut down unless they can rebuild quickly. See, immigration officials raided the meatpacking plant, and more than 70% of the workforce has either been detained or stopped showing up for work due to the fear of additional immigration raids. Even their HR manager has stopped showing up. Now, you'd say, It's Nebraska. It's a deep red portion of Nebraska. But Gary Rower, who is the owner of the meat processing facility, said he voted for a Democrat for the first time in his life because he could not stand behind Republican treatment of migrants. When 95% of his workforce are migrants, he could not allow what they were pushing to be on his conscience that he voted for it. He tries to do what's right. He verifies all of his employees through E-Verify, and when they don't pass, he helps those migrants on a road to gain the ability to pass E-Verify. And still, his facility was raided. He has more than 50 workers being detained right now by immigration officials, even though they're legally allowed to be here. And why was he raided? A report that he was employing illegal immigrants by the local community, and solely upon the color of the skin of the individuals that he chooses to employ, because people who look like me refuse to work there because that job is beneath them. Even when he pays $20 an hour for someone with no experience and upwards of $40 an hour for people with experience. It's not a great paying job to start, but it's an okay paying job in the end.
So the other day I heard that in Nebraska, farmers are about to lose their farms because they voted for Trump. If they only had someone to let them know that voting for him was going to be so disastrous. Oh no, wait, they did. But I guess the only thing left to do now is to sing about it. There was a farmer had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. He was racist and he voted for Trump, E-I-E-I-O. With a racist here and a racist there, here, there, everywhere there's ICE raids. There was a farmer had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Keyword here is had.
In a crazy statistic released today, Nebraska's GDP dropped 6%. A lot of it due to the agriculture sector. As I've commented on a lot, the tariff wars that Trump's been instigating have been really not very good for agriculture farmers. For example, China's a major soybean buyer, and if the tariffs are too high on products going there or coming back, they're just not going to buy. They also buy a lot of beef, which also gets affected by the tariffs. But of course, we're not going to be producing less, so that means we have a greater supply because we're not trading to other places, and that means the prices go down. Well, turns out the prices go down part, I at least was 100% right. This has meant that farmers, which are largely already on edge, by the way, because their land prices have been going up over and over time. Of course, the prices to buy agriculture vehicles as well has been going up over time. Well, they've just kind of had to save and spend what they need to spend and not what they want to spend. So we're both doing less trade and our farmers are buying less stuff. The financial precariousness under which our farmers are is worrying me more and more, and considering how agriculture in Nebraska is, it's incredibly important that we figure out some way to stabilize the Nebraska economy, with or without them. Preferably with, of course.
I have a question for the rest of America. Does anyone even care about Nebraska? Does anyone even care?
Nah. Next question. I don't know if y'all have been keeping up with Nebraska farmer talk, but they are getting exactly what they voted for. Nebraskan farmers overwhelmingly supported and voted for Donald Trump. The same Donald Trump who ran a campaign with one of the biggest promises being the deportation of illegal immigrants. Mind you, most of the people who work on their farms are illegal immigrants. So now, months after the open book test, they're finally starting to study, and they're realizing that if Trump implements his mass deportation plan, they are going to lose a majority of their workers. And if they lose a majority of their workers and their fields become as empty as a J-Lo concert, they will go bankrupt. Well, so now they're on here crying and complaining about how they're going to lose their farms, and nobody seems to care. I'm going to hold your hand with a napkin in between when I say this. We don't care because you showed that you don't care first. You are getting exactly what you voted for. Trump was very loud about his plans for mass deportation, but because your brain is as smooth as satin and your last two brain cells are fighting for 10th fucking place, you weren't able to put two and two together. So now they're on here crying and complaining to us, asking us why we don't care that they're about to have concept of a farm. Stinkabutt, what do you want us to do? Have you considered pulling yourself up by your bootstraps? Maybe round up your couslings, your sister wives, your husbands. Y'all work in the farms. Unfortunately, there's been a tariff placed on thoughts and prayers, so I don't have those for you, but I did write a song for you. Old Nebraskans had a farm, ADIOS. Hope this. Peace and love. Talk to you later.
Well, in today's episode of F Around and Find Out MAGA edition, cattle ranchers in the state of Nebraska who voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump fear the impact on their businesses when Donald Trump implements his mass deportation program that he campaigned on for almost 2 years, that they voted for. And now they're realizing that if he actually implements it, they'll go bankrupt. Years that he was going to deport 20 million Hispanic, Latino, undocumented immigrants living and working in the United States. You voted for that. And as cattle ranchers in the state of Nebraska, your business and your profitability depends and relies on undocumented immigrant workers who are now going to be deported by the guy that you voted for who said he was going to do that.
So I was just reading the Nebraska Examiner, which is a local Midwest newspaper in Nebraska. And there was an article about Pete Ricketts buying 3,500 acres of land out west in Dawes County for his hunting. And then the article went on and talked about other billionaires that actually own land in Nebraska that I had no idea. They don't live here. So did you know that Bill Gates owns 20,000 acres of tillable farmland in Nebraska? And Ted Turner, who's also another billionaire, he owns 500,000 acres of land here to raise bison. And that's not somebody that lives in Nebraska. And then they went on and they said there's another person that's a billionaire named John Malone. He was in the Liberty Media sector. That they didn't give an exact number of acres that he owns, but he also owns tillable farmland. So the billionaires are buying up Nebraska. Now, they all didn't do it this year, but they've been slowly doing it over like the last 5 or 6 years. They're buying our land here. The billionaires, they're buying our land. So anyways, the article's in the Nebraska Examiner. And the headline is like, Pete Ricketts buys big purchase out west. I just thought I'd let you know that the billionaires have already started to buy up our land here in Nebraska. Something I had no idea of until this morning in the newspaper.
So people think that like nothing exciting ever happens in Nebraska, but you couldn't be more wrong. Right now, we are watching a feud unravel on Facebook between two meteorologists. And let me tell you, we are a state divided. This has got to be the biggest rivalry we will see until football starts in September. So there's a guy named Jim Flowers who is a meteorologist and has been for decades and decades. I remember him my entire life. He has since retired, but he has a Facebook page called Jim Flowers Meteorologist, and he will get on from time to time and give us his weather predictions and storm tracking, whatever he deems necessary. Well, in the last 24 hours, he posted a prediction about some potentially heavy and possibly dangerous rainfall. In that prediction, he referred to other local meteorologists as incompetent for downplaying the severity of the rainfall. Shots fired. Now, Tim Schmidt from comments, we are a state divided. Many are referring to Jim Flowers as the GOAT of meteorology. We have a teacher or professor that has gotten on and said that they had studied meteorology predictions in one of their classes and Jim Flowers was always the most accurate. But we also have others that aren't big Jim Flowers fans. So since Tim Schmidt post, Jim Flowers has posted a video called Rules of Engagement. He starts off by acknowledging that he has almost 105,000 followers on his little Facebook meteorology page. He also admits that yes, he does not open up his comments on his Facebook page. He says that his opinions, his predictions, his expertise is not up for debate. Basically, he doesn't need every yahoo in Nebraska, including myself, getting on and telling him how right or wrong that he has been over the thing that he's an expert in. Now, I'm not saying that I am only Team Jim Flowers, but I will say the guy knows how to stand on business. So do your due diligence, go research it for yourself. Are we Team Jim or are we Team Tim? And stop saying that nothing exciting ever happens in Nebraska.
If you're in Omaha, Nebraska or Fremont, I've been following up on the news, and it sounds like these are all rumors that ice raids are set to happen today all over the meatpacking facilities in Fremont. And there are so many. I bet they won't touch Governor Pillins, though. And then in Omaha at Lala Foods. It sounds like Omaha Steaks as well. And they may have tried to raid it yesterday and they didn't have a warrant, so Omaha Steaks didn't let them in. So good on them for that. But just know the raids are set to occur throughout the week. That's what I'm hearing. So I'm going to post resources here. Here is a list of attorneys you can call in the event something happens. And another good resource is CIRCA, CIRCA. Their website is circaconnect.org. Their phone number is also listed on this page. Once again, nothing is confirmed. This is just what I'm seeing on Reddit and on the comments I come across on TikTok. I hate to give this advice because it really does give into what the conservatives want. But I do think it's safer for people of color to be in more densely white areas like West Omaha than it is to be out and about in their communities like Sato. I don't live in Omaha anymore. I'm down here in Austin, Texas, but I want my community and all communities to stay safe. So I'm just offering up what I can.
This is my life. This is who I am. This is what I do. You just have to adapt. There is no can't. You figure out ways to adapt to life and do the things that you really need to do that are important. This glove has definitely opened the door to do things that I couldn't do. Hi, I'm Corey Kudlachik. I'm from David City, Nebraska, and I'm a farmer in the eastern central part of Nebraska. I farm corn and soybeans. I like to go on vacation with my wife. We've been to Europe, we've been to Alaska, we've been to Hawaii, top of the Eiffel Tower, and bottom of the Grand Canyon, flew over the top of Mount McKinley, and we went to New York. That was interesting for the farm boy. We went to see the space shuttle launch.
Hey y'all, sorry, I just came from a run, so yes, I have on a raggedy t-shirt, so forgive my appearance. This is important. I'm gonna make it quick because I need y'all to get the information out here. Today is Tuesday, July 29, and if you are in the Mar Vista area of Southern California, so Mar Vista in Los Angeles, which is squished in between Venice and Culver City and just north of or just south of Palms and just north of Playa Vista, but right there in that area last Sunday or last weekend, ICE agents were spotted at the farmers market. There's a really nice farmers market there, and ICE agents went into local businesses, changed out of their uniforms, changed into plain clothes, and were going around checking out the stalls, the vendors, the patrons. So there is a strong suspicion that this coming weekend that there's going to be an ICE raid at that farmer's market or perhaps just in the general area. So everybody needs to be on high alert. Please spread the word and get that information out there. And BTW, right? They are malicious. Why else would they need to cover their faces, right? You know, they've caught drug cartel leaders without their faces being covered, but now all of a sudden the pussies are afraid. Get the word out. That is my ask for you. Thank you.
You know, when I'm in Iowa, Illinois, in the I states, you know, those guys are more like me. You know, they're plant people. They grow corn, soybean, you know, they're plant 100%. But when I get into the fringes of society and into Nebraska, Kansas, the Dakotas, even Texas, the best biology guys, they're cattlemen. So I do find that the guys that are adopting this the quickest, they got animals.
Yep.
You know, maybe it's pigs or a lot of them, though, are growing cattle or, you know, calving. They do a lot of calving. Maybe they're selling the babies.
Yep.
But I do see a strong correlation between animal husbandry and soil biology.
That's interesting.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have a crazy situation as ICE is launching a major recruitment program offering student loan forgiveness and much more as benefits. ICE and the Department of Homeland Security are launching a new campaign to recruit, quote, brave and heroic Americans to join ICE as federal law enforcement agents. Kristi Noem said in a statement, "Your country is calling you to serve ICE. In the wake of the Biden administration's failed immigration policies, your country needs dedicated men and women of ICE to get the worst of the worst criminals out of our country. This is a defining moment in our nation's history. Your skills, your experience, and your courage have never been more essential. Together, we must defend the homeland." To support the efforts of ICE offers a maximum bonus of $50,000, student loan payment and forgiveness options, 25% law enforcement availability pay, administratively uncontrollable overtime for enforcement removal operations, and enhanced retirement benefits. Kristi Noem's speech or statement or whatever was propaganda and a half, because holy shit, that is insane. I mean, reading that, that's like the first thing I thought. That is crazy, crazy propaganda. I mean, ICE is going to get worse, bottom line. It is going to be any random MAGA off the street who needs a job joining as they please. And, you know, I'm sure it'll increase racial profiling. I'm sure it'll increase attacks on citizens and so much more. Kristi Noem is right. This is a defining time in our nation's history, one where if we let this nation or if we would let this administration attack their citizens as they please, we allow them to remove and take whatever they want. And that's not okay and should never be the case. With that being said, thank you everyone for watching this video. Like and repost to get the information out. Drop a follow for more news content. Later.
During an immigration raid on June 10th at Glen Valley Foods, a meatpacking plant in Omaha, Nebraska, ICE detained 76 illegal aliens, approximately 50% of the company's employees. What's the company supposed to do now? Well, according to NBC News, American citizens and others who are in the country legally began applying for meatpacking and food processing jobs at the plant just 2 days after the raid, filling every seat in the waiting area. How can that be? Didn't these Americans and other legal applicants get the memo from sleazy immigration lawyers that jobs like this are only suitable for illegal aliens? Or maybe they got the memo and threw it in the trash, where it belongs. By the way, in fairness to Glen Valley Foods, it was reportedly using E-Verify to verify that its employees were not illegal aliens, and the system failed miserably, obviously. I'm not sure if the illegals were using fake Social Security cards or other ID, but E-Verify clearly isn't nearly as good as it needs to be nationwide. I'm Joseph Bovino, U.S. immigration and business attorney based in Miami and serving clients worldwide who can help make America even greater than it already is. Let me know what you think about this story, which you probably didn't hear about in the legacy media, in the comments below. Use the link in my bio if you'd like to schedule a consultation and follow for more.
Comment after comment of crazy people telling me how Nebraska's going broke and we get what we deserve. And I'm one of those guys, and Sunny warned me. She told me, she's like, whatever you do, don't even call them crazies. That's me. I called them crazies. Sunny's a nice person. She would never. Well, Sunny's a nice person. So I started replying to these comments, and I've even had a couple, really nice ladies do reply videos to my comments, where she's from, but she's got some really, really neat classes, But anyway, I interacted with these people, and where I really fucked up, guys, is last night I had a few beers, and I kind of fell down a rabbit hole and took kind of a deep dive into these. I hit the search bar that said Nebraska ranchers going broke or some shit like that. And if you look up some of these search bars, I'm some of the videos in these. It's fucking weird, guys. It's weird. You are a bunch of weird motherfuckers out there. Maybe you're just weird, not crazy. I mean, crazy weird, maybe. I don't fucking know. But anyway, now that's all that's coming across my deal here, and I knew that would happen last night. I just wasn't thinking. I didn't take Sonny's advice, and I've even had comments removed. Next thing, I suppose I'm gonna get nannered. But I guess the good thing about these crazies is they're pretty passive, I think, sticks and stones and that sort of thing. I guess it doesn't really bother me, but they take one thing and they run from it, and they just keep regurgitating the shit over and over and over and over and over. It's getting quite old. to tell you the truth. So I got to get back to doing what I know how to do. To tell you the truth, I got to get on that fucking Wes Ellis video and, about the winter cabin and stuff where, that thing kind of blew up and I've got kind of a different take on that deal. So I've got to do that, and I might do that either tonight or in the morning or something maybe. So yeah, I've got to get back to that. But this whole fucking deal is just wearing me out. I didn't hardly sleep last night, guys. Nebraska's going broke. Nebraska ranchers are going, the whole fucking state's going broke, I guess. I don't know. And if it happens, guys, you can just go ahead and, follow me and stuff so you can get back to me in 6 months when Nebraska's broke and you say, I told you so. And we could have a whole nother fucking round of these people. Anyway, it's tiring, guys. I don't know how all these fucking people just deal with this on a daily. That one lady with the nice glasses, that's all she does all day long is do weird videos, but keeps her busy, I guess. Anyway, you'd think their husbands would eat beef.
Everybody seemed very concerned about me last night because I'm almost always sleeping in my tent, but there was a big thunderstorm that was coming with maybe like baseball-sized hail and flood warnings. It was supposed to be pretty crazy. I put my stuff in trash bags so none of it would get wet in these floods, but the floods never came. I barely got hit by the storm, and it was a totally smooth night. I'm done worrying about the weather until I get to the Rocky Mountains and I am getting snowed on. In other news, I'm close to Lincoln now. I'm only about 9 miles away, so I'm very excited to be coming into that city and seeing everything that it has.
I really hate to get on here and do this. ICE is currently in Omaha, Nebraska doing raids at our meat plants. I just hate how all these people is being stripped away from their kids and their families and shit like that for things that literally has nothing to do with them. With seeing everything that's going on in LA and shit like that, like, y'all, it's finna get real fucking wicked. I just hope that everybody stay safe, everybody stay prayed up, and get right with God, y'all, because everything that's going on right now is all aligning, is all supposed to happen. It's sad to say, but Bible prophecy is fulfilling. And I never get on the internet and talk about shit like this because y'all like to take people to hell with shit like this. But one thing about me, when it comes to God, I'm gonna argue about it. The world is changing, y'all, and it's not about to be how we thought it was. I said it in my last video, and I'm gonna say it again. Get prepared, y'all, because it's happening. It's right at our doorsteps, literally.
ICE raided a Nebraska meat plant yesterday, despite the company claiming it followed protocols and used government-approved tech to verify workers' immigration status. Here's what we know. At around 9 a.m., immigration authorities conducted a raid at Glen Valley Foods in Omaha, Nebraska. They apprehended about 75 to 80 people. According to the Associated Press, the president of the food packaging company, Chad Hartman, said the company's front office was shocked by the aggressiveness of the ICE officers. The plant uses E-Verify, a federal database designed to check and confirm the immigration status of employees. Hartman expressed confusion about the raid, saying the company relies on the government-mandated system to ensure compliance. When he asked ICE officers why they were being targeted, he was told the E-Verify system was broken, according to the Associated Press. He told them, "This is your system, run by the government, and you're raiding me because your system is broken?" Immigration officials notified the Omaha Police Department in advance, but the company said it was not warned ahead of time. According to Hartman, ICE agents identified about 110 individuals suspected of working with false documentation. A small group of protesters gathered to oppose the raid. For context, the Center of Economic and Policy Research, a think tank, has concluded that more than half of all meatpacking plant workers are immigrants. What do you think about the rise in ICE raids? Let us know in the comments.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.